welcome to the It Doesn't Hold Up podcast. We review and reevaluate all things we remember fondly from our childhood and years prior to see if they still hold up. And more often than not, they probably don't. I'm Stuart Shepherd, along with my co-host and good friend Michael Smith. Smith, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing, and to quote this film, get over here.
No, you've quoted the completely wrong film, Smith.
No, I haven't. No. This is Fatality. That's the other one that it says in the film. Yep.
No, again, you've
Yep.
quoted the completely wrong film.
Did I watch the wrong film?
You watched the wrong film, Smith. We were doing Street Fighter, not Mortal Kombat.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're the same film. So let's just power through and see what happens.
Indeed. Well, hopefully Smith has watched the right film, but before we get onto that, have you? We'll never know. But before we get onto that, let's just talk a little bit about last week's episode because it was very well received. People said to me how apt it was that we chose a spooky film for Halloween. And people said not seen that film in a long time, and it actually made them want to go back and watch it. But however, on the other side of the coin, some people said to me, that film never held up to begin with, so why did you cover it? I was like, well,
that's subjective, isn't it? Whether or not it held up to begin with. I mean, I could say something held up when I was 8, but don't say it holds up now, which is sort of the whole mission statement of this podcast. But does that mean it never held up to begin with? Who knows?
Exactly. And then the other massive universal piece of feedback I got was Sarah Jessica Parker in that film. Cool. And I couldn't agree more. Right then. Did you get any supplemental feedback, or is that pretty much the gist of it as well?
That's pretty much the gist of it. I got a lot of people talking to me about the sequel.
Me
reminding them that I had never seen it and was never going to see it, and do not feel the need for latter-day sequels to mid-90s mid-range films.
Indeed. And even when you come up with a synopsis of what you thought it was going to be about, you was absolutely spot on. So there's absolutely no need to watch it.
I've seen enough of those films. I don't need to see any more of them.
Indeed.
Now, would they made a sequel to this? Whoa.
There's still time. Except, no, we don't have Raul Julia anymore. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Cool. Right. So, brief synopsis. So, this is the big screen adaptation of the Street Fighter game series. Now, really, it's an adaptation of the Street Fighter 2 game because the Street Fighter 1 game came in 1987 in the arcades and it was moderately successful, but it wasn't until Street Fighter 2 hit the arcades in 1991 and then subsequently went on to games consoles like the Sega Mega Drive, Super Nintendo. It was really a smash. So really, even though it's called Street Fighter, it's more like Street Fighter 2, the movie.
Can I correct you?
You can.
It's more an adaptation of Street Fighter 2 Turbo due to the inclusion of Cammy, DJ, and T-Hawk.
And let me correct you again. It's actually Super Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2 Turbo let you play the bosses. So let you play Vega, Sagat, M. Bison, and Vega. But Super Street Fighter was Cammy, T-Hawk, Fei Long, who's not in this movie, and DJ. So yes.
Well, let me correct you again. Fuck you, buddy.
Oh dear. But yes, anyway. This movie was released in the USA at Christmas time in 23rd of December 1994. However, we didn't get it in the UK until May 1995. So that might be the confusion when we were talking about, hang on, what year? But it was 1994 officially. We didn't get it until 1995. But
I don't say my scene setting is all 1994.
That's fine. I was saying for the purpose of this podcast and this episode, we are going to be covering 1994. So we haven't covered 1994 yet. So Smith, take it away. What was going on in 1994?
Well, there's lots going on in 1994. It's actually quite a big year for the world in general. And I struggled to sort of narrow this down. And I decided to find some things that were thematic to the film. Now, the film, one of the themes that keeps running through it is multiculturalism, all the nations of the world working together. And so I picked some examples of what was going on in the world that represent that. In 1994, the Channel Tunnel opened officially between England and France. In April of that year, South Africa held its first multiracial elections with Nelson Mandela ultimately being elected president. Another couple of themes from this film. Genetically modified tomato, the flavor saver, spelt in a very American 90s way, FLAVRSAVR, became the first genetically modified food, genetically engineered mass modified food to be available for sale and human consumption, approved by the FDA. Oh. Now that's relevant to this film because Blanca looks somewhat like a genetically modified tomato, albeit green. Talking about genetically modified tomatoes, Michael Jackson married Lisa Marie Presley. Again, Blanca looked a bit like Michael Jackson, but green. Um, a, Also relevant to this, being a computer game adaptation, the PlayStation was released in Japan for the first time in December of 1994. And in a couple of other sort of strange little things that happened this year that are worth mentioning, O.J. Simpson killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. Kurt Cobain shot himself, and Kim Il Sung died, but retained office after death because North Koreans be crazy. That is, in a nutshell, 1994.
Wow, a whirlwind of stuff happening in '94, and also the National
Tons of
Lottery
stuff.
was launched in 1994.
So this is only half of the stuff I found. I've
Oh,
picked the
okay.
most relevant uh, and the ones I thought were most interesting.
Fair enough. Well, we could go down a rabbit hole with 1994, but yeah, I think you've
Just
summed it
do a
up
whole
quite nicely.
podcast about. Oh, actually, do you know in December of 1994 what the number one song in the UK was? You're not going to
1994.
guess this.
It's probably too early for Oasis or something like
It
that.
was
Yeah.
"On Bended Knee" by Boys II Men.
Okay. I
Yeah.
have no idea what that song is, although I might know it if I hear it.
No, I have absolutely no idea what it is. It's probably shit.
Probably shit. Yeah. Maybe if our listeners or viewers want to, listen to it and give us feedback on that. But yes, it's
If our
probably
listeners
shit.
are fans of Boys II Men, keep it to yourself.
Yes, and again, please direct your hate mail to one Michael Smith. Right then, that's the scene. So, this wonderful movie. How old were you when you first saw this? How did you see this? And yeah, how did you experience this? Was it a cinema? Was it video? Was it TV? How was it? Tell us all.
So I would have been 10 years old in May of 1995,
Mhm.
and I saw this at the cinema.
Really?
I did indeed. In,
But
I believe, the aforementioned Warner Brothers Cinema in Lakeside,
oh, you naughty boy! That film was at
which
12. Did you have an adult smuggle you in? Because that was before the days of
I
12.
have looked, I have looked about 50 since I was 9. So I went for a pint, had a quick fag outside, and popped in to see Street Fighter with my pet Whippet. I don't know. It was the 90s. Yes, I saw it at the cinema with a friend and their parents. Yes, probably smuggled in. Usually, what would happen is my parent or the parent that took me to see the overage film would make me go and stand somewhere over in the corner. It's going. If I remember correctly, this would have been rough. No, no. I usually stood behind like a big cardboard cutout, just kind of peeking my head around from Alec Baldwin as the shadow. Can I come out?
Jeez.
Yeah. No, stay put. Yep, saw it at the cinema. Subsequently saw it on VHS, which I believe I got for Christmas that year. Again and again and again and again. And lastly, bought it on DVD, which is not where I watched it this time, on the other hand, because I cannot find my DVD copy of this film, so I had to buy it off of Amazon Prime.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah, a waste of £3.50. Anyway, well, we'll come back to that. How about yourself?
Now, see, I didn't see it at the cinema because I've always looked ridiculously young. So when I was 10, would I have been 10 then? Yes, I would have been 10 then. I probably looked about 7. So,
to be fair, that was your parents' fault for carrying around in that buggy with the diaper on still.
Well, yes, clearly. Yeah, and the bowl haircut. But yeah, there was no way I was ever getting into a 12 movie. My brother could have, because he's, 4 years older than me, so he would have been of age. But
He would
no.
have been 12. Of course, he could get into a 12.
He would have been 14. My brother's 4 years
then
older.
he definitely could.
Yeah, but no, he didn't go see it at the cinema. I didn't see it at the cinema. Parents didn't. So, as we mentioned in the last episode, anything that came out on video at Blockbuster Video was normally about 6 months later. So I imagine this probably would have been November, Christmas time. And I remember renting it out on video and watching it and then not buying it. But every time it was on Sky, watching it again and again and again and again. And I do remember, maybe about 10 years ago, maybe longer than that, as a joke, you bought me the DVD of it for a birthday present.
Yes,
and I've only just got round to watching it. Been prepped for this podcast. It was like nice and fresh and clean. The DVD disc when I opened it, I was like, "Thanks, Smith. Like, you saved me £3.50 on Prime. Like you had to pay for it."
I mean, the annoying thing is I already own the bloody thing. I just couldn't find it.
Oh God, Jesus! Do you know what though? It was a massive hunt because all of my good DVDs, you can't see them on this show if you're watching on YouTube. It's buried it. It's really, really down at the bottom, tucked away, covered in dust. But yeah, that's where it was. But I found it, and yes, I watched it a couple of days ago in prep for this episode. So there we go. But I do remember, actually, just before we go into that, there was huge hype for this film for years because there was always speculation who would be playing who, because there was a lot of features in computer game magazines. And I do remember years and years ago, Jean-Claude Van Damme was always earmarked to play Guile, always. But there's always ridiculous suggesting cast like Ryu could be played by Tom Cruise. Like, Tom Cruise isn't Japanese. Why would he be Ryu?
Look,
I mean,
neither was Sean Connery. He
in
only lived
Highlander.
twice, and that
Oh,
didn't
he's doing
stop
it
him.
twice. Yeah, I was
And
thinking
Highlander, he was
Highlander.
funny.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So yeah, and I remember there was huge fanfare for this. People were getting very excited. It was in all the magazines, and yeah, but for whatever reason, I didn't watch it until it came out on video, so I can't have been that excited about it. Even though I was a huge Street Fighter 2 fan. Me and my brother played that game religiously. That and Mortal Kombat. To this day, I still know the combinations of moves. Like if you just give me a controller, I just know how to do stuff.
See, I never was with either of them. I'd have them, or I'd
Mhm.
play them at arcades. I'd play them for about 3 minutes, realize I wasn't good at it, and then get bored and wander off. Or
You
just play
see,
as DJ, who was a cheaty bastard character.
yeah, so I don't think I ever played Super Street Fighter 2. I played Street Fighter 2 Turbo. That was my jam. And my jam for Mortal Kombat was Mortal Kombat 2. But me and my brother played them, honestly, ad nauseum. So I could play those games in my sleep. But there you go. Cool. All right. So, shall we delve into this wonderful plot?
Yes, let's.
Right.
After you, sir.
Cool. I wrote copious notes. So I do apologize in advance if this turns into a Super Mario episode, which again was a video game adaptation. But I don't know about you before we get to this. They seem to be getting better with this because you had Mario, it's atrocious. You have this, which we'll talk about, and then you have Mortal Kombat. And then for me, they seem to
See, I
gradually
haven't
get
seen Mortal
better.
Kombat in a long time, so I'd have to reserve judgment on whether or not that's any good still.
Oh well, maybe someone might nominate it. Never know.
Well,
Anyway,
maybe.
maybe.
I'd
Anyway,
pay
cool.
£3.50 to watch that on Prime.
Yes, I definitely don't know that, so I would have to pay for it. Cool. Right, so we get a nice shot of the planet, and then suddenly the planet turns into a Street Fighter symbol. We go, dang, Street Fighter, the ultimate battle. I was like, what's this? What the fuck is this? The ultimate battle? But
There's spoiler alert, there will be no ultimate battles. There will also be no street fighting at any point.
no, they will
No
not.
one
It's a
fights on a street at any point in this film.
no. We get the cage fight with Vega and Ryu, but anyway,
No,
we'll
we
come to
don't.
that.
We don't get that. We
No,
get
we
the
get the dick
beginning of
tease
that.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, then we cut to news footage of GNT News, and we hear via various news reporters and Chun Li, who's a news reporter, that there's been 7 months of civil war going on in the fictional nation of Shadaloo in Southeast Asia. And Chun Li happens to be working with Balrog and E Honda for some reason. I
This is
don't know why.
the first warning in this film where it's like, oh, Balrog, he's a cameraman, and Honda, he's a sound technician. It's like, no, no.
No, Balrog's a boxer in Las Vegas, and E Honda is a sumo wrestler in Japan. What?
I was like, E Honda is very clearly Japanese. This man is very clearly Hawaiian.
Yeah, I don't know what they were going for with that, but anyway. So then we hear about the Allied nations or the AN are closing in on the nation of Shadaloo because
not the UN,
not the UN,
not the UN.
They look very much like the UN, but they're not the UN.
Yeah, even down to their blue berets and tasteful little cravats.
Indeed, but definitely not the UN. But they are closing in on the nation of Shadaloo on General M. Bison because he's occupied the country, being a drug lord and a gun runner and all this sort of stuff. And he's captured, I believe, 63 AN relief workers, and he's demanding $20 billion for their release, or he will kill them, apparently.
Shadaloo, as it goes, my favourite Indian restaurant order.
Is it?
Chicken Shadaloo, yes.
I will check that out. Cool. Then we cut to M. Bison's lair, and he's got some sort of weird flying desk thing going around. I'm not sure quite what that's all about. And there is a pit where the hostages are being thrown in. I don't know whether you noticed this, but as one of them's thrown in, you get that Star Wars special effect.
It's called the Wilhelm scream.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So this goes back to, it's a quick cinema lesson, goes back to a sound effect that was first recorded for Westerns back in the, I believe, 1940s, for a character called Wilhelm, and it's now called the Wilhelm scream. If you listen out for that, you can hear it in films ranging all the way back from the 1940s to now. Happens quite a lot. I also thought on this, right, two things. First of all, Chun Li turns up basically with, here's the plot. Real news footage over the top of it, which is deeply offensive. Like there's people just being shot in the street. It's like that's come on now. This is Street Fighter, and then when they get the hostages, they're chucking them into that pit. It's like they're dead. That is a hell of a drop.
It is, but we'll see later on throughout the film. There's very little emphasis put on the hostages. Like they're just secondary,
which is probably for the best. It's quite offensive, and we have enough characters.
Indeed.
Do you know how many main characters there are in this film?
12, something like
15.
that. 15 main characters.
That's too many.
Way too many. And interesting, they went with Guile as the main character, not Ryu, because Ryu is basically the main character in the Street Fighter series. But anyway,
barely in this.
barely in it. And then some of the AN soldiers who've been captured, like Bison gives them the chance, like, come on in, you can fight me. And he just very easily just defeats them, just throws them down. Pathetic. Then what happens? Then Guile arrives on a tank, and he's with T-Hawk and Cammy, played by
T-Hawk, who spends the entire film looking like a surly fucking teenager. The whole film, he's got a face on him like, no, I don't want to be here. I want to be in my room. Oh,
unless I
can you
miss
play
something,
Mortal
he seems to
Kombat
have
and
a
winking?
unless I'm missing something, he has a plaster on his head for the whole film. Like, why's he got that plaster on his head?
No
Like,
idea.
I don't know. But yeah, T Hawk, who does virtually nothing in this movie, and Kylie Minogue playing Cammy, looking very 90s hot. And this is when her music career was on the really downward spiral, and it wasn't until 2000s it picked up again. But yeah, so she was in garbage like this. And then
I can tell you later. I'll save it for the end, but I'll tell you why she's in garbage like this. There is a reason. There's a specific reason why she's in this film.
okay, fine. Save it for later. Chun-Li wants to have an interview with Guile, but he's not keen on giving interviews. But then he does actually start talking directly to the screen. It's like, oh, that bastard Bison! I know you like to look at yourself on the screen, so look at this. It was so funny when he did that.
He
Yeah,
doesn't know how to use a microphone.
yeah,
He's just waving it around all over the place.
and then he
Still
thinks
picking him up perfectly well.
and then he starts doing weird shit to Chun-Li. He's talking to the camera, and then he starts saying to it, like, am I on TV right now? I was like, yeah, I think you've just established this. You've just started talking to the camera, but I don't know. Anyway, and then we see DJ, who apparently is a computer expert, even though in the game he's supposed to be a break dancer or something. But anyway,
Yeah,
whatever.
well, I think he was a breakdancer slash DJ, hence the name. Played by Miguel Nunez Jr. Do you know what you've seen him in?
No, I have seen him somewhere, but I couldn't work
Friday
out
the
where it was.
13th, Part 5. The Demons!
Demons!
Yep.
Ooh, baby. Yeah. Oh
Yep.
my god, I knew I'd seen him somewhere. Well, there you
Yep.
go.
He's great. He's quite good in this.
Yeah, he's quite funny.
He's
Him and
quite funny in
Zangief
this.
have got great chemistry in this movie. It's very funny. Anyway, using computers, again, we've got that 90s crap with computers. He managed to take control of some satellite. Yeah, beep, 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 and then managed to take control of E Honda's film truck or something. And then
God knows.
fuck knows. And then Bison's able to talk straight to Guile. And it's when they start giving shit to each other. And that's when Bison basically tells him that, yeah, you've got 72 hours to get me my money or the hostages are going to die. And that's when he's like, Charlie, if you're listening, I am coming. I'm coming, Charlie. And then conveniently, Charlie happens to be standing there.
He really fucked him up there. He's like, Carlos Blanca. Charlie. Well, a bit of a leap, but okay. You've just really sold your mate down the river. What do you think he's going to do? Like, oh, you're Giles, mate. Oh, well, you can just go in the hostage. No. You're lucky you're not dead already.
Instead of protesting, oh, no, my name's Carlos. He ain't Charlie.
Carlos. I mean, where are you getting that from, mate? That's just, that's whitewashing.
I don't know. Charlie Sheen's real name's Carlos, so don't know. Anyway, so then Bison orders Carlos, Blanca, Charlie, whatever, to be taken to the laboratory. Straight away, I was like, but why? What the hell did this guy do? All right. So he takes him off. Then what happens? Then Cammy earlier on had broken into E Honda's truck and then wasn't able to get a signal, but was able to partially get a signal. And then starts getting all angry, like, "Oh, you're almost useful," like that. And then he says, "Oh, he doesn't like women, does he?" He goes, "Oh no, he just doesn't like reporters." It was like it's equality or some shit.
It's just bad dialogue. Stop it. Move
really,
on.
really bad dialogue. God, then what happens?
Well, I think then we go to the next characters, which is apt that you've mentioned Charlie Sheen because we've got not Emilio Estevez turning up,
which is
what,
Ken. Ken, yes. Yeah, we meet Ken and Ryu, and this is, for me, I think this is kind of the best part of the movie because of what it could have been. Because they're in that fight club, right? It's after curfew time. They're in that fight club. Vega looks fucking great. He's in that cage fighting some dude.
Vega's one of the few bits they got right in this.
Yes,
they got that character spot on.
Yeah, he's got the cool like Latino like trousers and boots and all that sort of thing, and his claw and his
kind of Toreador stuff.
Yeah. He's got the hair braided back like he had in the game. Yeah, he looks absolutely awesome, and he's in the cage, which is in the game as well. Because in the game, he used to climb up the cage and then jump down and get you with his claw.
Yeah.
But yeah, while that's going on, Ken and Ryu are meeting with Sagat because Sagat is a gun runner for Bison, and Ken and Ryu are selling guns for what was it, $100,000 or some shit? I don't know. Something like that. And they're saying, yeah, we won't tell you where the guns are till you get our money, blah, blah, blah. But then Sagat's like, oh, well, I already know where the guns are. Then all the Sagat's gang are pointing the guns at Ken and Ryu, and they're toy guns. I'm like, ugh.
So you missed it, but when they first get there, they're going in to speak to Sagat, and these two women are like, and
Oh
like,
yeah,
like, no, it's like those women are really desperate to have sex with these sweaty, unattractive men. And then off they go, and then yeah, so it's at the end of this where they pop a thing, and then Sagat says, "I like my games live and in living color," and I've written down here, what? What
yeah.
the hell does that mean?
Why?
What are you talking about, you fucking nutcase? Also, where's Studi playing Sagat? Been in loads of stuff, right?
Love that guy.
Loads
He's
and
so
loads of
funny.
stuff. Absolutely fantastic. He's great in everything he's in. But Native American. Was Sagat meant to be Native American, or is this
Supposed to be
just
Thai. In the
yeah?
game, he
So
was in Thailand.
yeah,
Yeah.
so no, no, he wasn't. Also, just he looks the part,
Yeah.
but it's not great casting.
No, I don't know. Maybe they
None of
just
this is
chose them.
great casting. Well, I mean, trivia later, but there's reasons why there's certain people in this film and certain people not in this film.
Okay.
Including why Ken and Ryu are basically nobodies.
Yeah. And again,
Damien Chapper, who plays Ken, was in Under Siege, and Byron Mann, who plays Ryu. I don't know what else I've seen him apart from the recent Dwayne Johnson Skyscraper movie. Apart from that, anyway, yeah.
who
Moving on.
knows? Yeah. So then there's a fight with Ken and Ryu and Sagat's men, and they do a couple of the moves from the game. They do the spinning kick. Oh, you good? They do that kick, and then yeah, then straight away, even though that fight's going on, we cut to Bison's lair, and this is where we meet Dr. Dalsim. I'm like,
Of course he is. Why not? He's a scientist. Get off. Yeah, fine. Again, you've just taken the character name and gone, all right, he's a doctor. He's a
yeah,
scientist.
it's like we've got 12 Street Fighter 2 characters to shoehorn into this film. What should we do? Oh shit, how do we get Dalsim? He's a doctor.
So what happened was, apparently, Capcom originally agreed with Stephen E. D'Souza, the writer-director, that they would have 7 main characters. Every time we then turned into draft the script, they asked for 2 more. So they ended up with 15. They originally wanted 19, but he managed to argue them back down. So they ended up with 15 main characters, and he had to keep rewriting and adding the people in. So you go from 7 characters with Bison and Guile, and then a couple of others, and then you adding them and adding them and adding them to the point where you've got Dr. Dalsim or DJ the computer expert, and it's like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Like, this is nothing like the game. You just picked names and characters and put them in, like, he's a cameraman, he's a scientist, he's a computer technician. Like, no, none of this.
And I think this is where the Mortal Kombat movie gets it right.
He's
because
Belgian.
Yeah, for some reason, even though it's an all-American. But no, this is where the Mortal Kombat movie got it right, because all the characters are exactly how they are in the game, and they've traveled to a mythical land to fight in the Mortal Kombat tournament. It's like, yeah, that's the game. Like, what the fuck is this?
Connection there. Jean-Claude Van Damme turned down the role of Johnny Cage to be in this film.
And that makes sense to me, because he wouldn't be the leading role. Because actually, the lead role's Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat, isn't it?
Yeah, so, very much so. Very much so. Johnny Cage is a supporting character, and as it should be.
Yeah, and I think it's probably an ego thing. But again, we'll talk about Van Damme's ego later on.
Oh, we will.
And how? So Dr. Dalsim, so he's been tasked with transforming Blanca into the ultimate super soldier. I'm like, right, okay, so it looks like they're doing some sort of Clockwork Orange shit, but reverse, not trying to make him good, trying to make him bad, but like showing him all this horrible shit on the, visual goggles. But then I was like, if that's enough, all right, fine. Then they wheel in all this green and orange. I wrote down what it is. It's anabolic plasma and DNA mutagens.
I've written that down and glad they've labelled it.
Good God.
The Blanca chamber looks so rickety and shit as well. It wobbles around. It's like, so it's something I'd knocked up in my garage.
It looks like something you get at a shitty theme park or whatever, rubbish.
Yeah, like after you've been on Tidal Wave and you can go and dry yourself off in it.
Yeah. But then, Bison doesn't understand why he's getting so distressed. Dal seems like, because I'm like you, he's not psychotic, and he basically beats the shit out of him, and yeah. Then we cut back to the fight club, and it looks like the bit we're all been waiting for. Ryu is going to have to fight Vega. Like, thank God, we're going to get some street fighting. We're going to get that cool bit from the game when, they're in the cage and whatever else. Just as they're about to fight, suddenly Guile comes smashing through the wall in his tank. He's like, you are all under arrest. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, we were just about to have some street fighting.
I did notice at the beginning of that when Ken and Ryu shook hands before Ken gets let out of the cage, they just like linger and they hold on for like a bit too long. I'm like, oh, that's a loving and tender handshake.
Maybe some sort of improv that went wrong. I don't know. Oh, then what happens? Then we're back. Or not, we're back. Then we're
Oh
at.
no, we're at Good Morning Shadaloo, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, for fuck's sake.
Stop referencing better movies.
Yes,
No, yeah,
bad a hint for all bad films. Never reference better films. It doesn't look good.
yeah. So we're at Shadaloo Prison, and Guile's got a meeting with T-Hawk and Cammy and all the other troops as well. And we get Captain Sawada. Is that the first time we meet him? Who was supposed to be Ryu, but didn't get the role.
Well, Capcom wanted him to play Ryu, but he was because he was a big star in Japan.
Yeah.
But he was incapable of doing humor and incapable of speaking English, which probably a prerequisite for a film that's being released in America.
Well, I don't know, because Ryu is supposed to be Japanese, whereas in this one,
Yeah, but
he's
he's
an
also
American
this
Japanese
guy,
dude. So,
but he's played by an American Chinese actor,
oh,
not an
okay.
American Japanese actor. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, Sawada, in the few lines of dialogue he has, it's very kind of like very clipped, very like you
Yeah, yeah.
wouldn't cast him as the lead. He's no Jackie Chan.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. So then once, yeah, so Cammy explains that they've got a partial location. And then straight away we get an infiltrated waiter goes, jumps on the table, runs all chocolate man down, and he does that fucking wicked kick when he just like trips him up. This guy takes a hell of a fall. Oh, that must have really, really hurt. And that's when they notice he's got the tattoo on his chest, which is Sagat's gang. I forget what the name was.
Shadaloo Tong.
Shadaloo Tong, that's it.
He goes,
So
oh, look, Shadaloo Tong. And then it's match cut to Vega's arm with the tattoo on, which looks like someone's drawn it on with biro. It's so shit. It's like, oh, look, I've drawn like a snake wrapped around a knife. I'm rock hard, mate.
yeah. And then
He also built himself a little bamboo claw.
I thought that was kind of cool though, because he doesn't have his
Yeah, but
proper
why
claw.
has he fucking done that?
I don't know. People make shanks for himself in prison.
Yeah, but in prison you're like, well, I'm just making myself a lovely claw. I can't do it with a regular shank. I need to scratch like a cat meow.
Yeah, it didn't look a sharp, this one. Yeah, because then we see that Sagat, Vega, Ken, and Ryu, and presumably all the other punters who were there gambling, that they're all in the prison now. And
one of them is one of Sagat's gang. He's a very little man. You've seen him in some of the scenes walking around. He's a kind of tiny little ugly fella. As Benny Akades. Now, Benny Akades is one of the foremost martial artists in Hollywood, and he was in Grosse Point Blank. So remember the scene in Grosse Point Blank where he's having the fight in the hallway?
Yeah.
With the martial arts. That's the guy from Street Fighter. And pound for pound, one of the hardest men on the planet. Kick your face off your head.
Oh, he might be little, but we don't fuck with him, type of thing, right?
No.
Right. You're going to end up using up all your trivia of all these little nuggets as we're going along, but anyway.
I've got shitloads.
I'm sure you
so
do.
much more. Anyway, go on.
This could be another Mario episode. So then Guile's got a plan like, oh, hang on, why don't we infiltrate Sagat's gang by sending someone there, because Sagat works with Bison, and if you get to Sagat, you get to Bison, type thing. And then that's when Ken and
Maybe
Ryu
trust some new enemies.
Oh yeah.
What?
Some new enemies. Like,
what does that mean?
And why would he? And then what prompts the fight in the courtyard? Do they just don't like the look of each other, so they all just decide to start fighting?
Yeah, like the fucking sharks and the jets. I wrote down, why does the prison have lots of just bamboo structures all over the place that keep falling over? I mean, you could easily escape by climbing up one of them. What's the point of it?
Yeah, this is a shitty prison. So yeah, that draws the attention of Guile. He wants to know who they are. T-Hawk tells him, well, they're Ken and Ryu, and he's like, oh, okay, bring them to me. And then that's when he has the proposition of, doesn't say it, but it's heavily implied that maybe you can help me. And it was like, oh, okay, fine. Can we go now? It's like, I wrote this down. About, the only way you two are leaving is over my dead body. Like that. And I'm like, I remember seeing that as a kid. Like, that's a really shitty delivered line. Why? Why are you saying that?
It's really shitty delivered. Like, all his lines are really shitty delivered. He looks like he's struggling. He looks like he's struggling to remember every individual word of every individual line. Like, he struggles so much in this film to be like, over my dead body. It's like, yes, well done.
But the thing is, he'd been in lots of English-speaking movies before, including like Universal Soldier, and I swear his acting wasn't that shit in that film.
Coke's a hell of a drug, Stu.
It really is. Really is. And that's when Ken and Ryu have a bit of a fake fight, and they swipe the keys off of a security guard, and then when they're getting in the van, that's when Sagat's like, oh, look, throw me the keys, and, lets us out. And then I wrote down another quote that Van Damme says. So the guy's like, "Oh, this isn't over, guy. Like, I own this city." And he was like, "Well, I'm the repo man, and you are out of business." What does that mean?
There's so many lines of dialogue in this film. I'm like, what?
Mainly Van Damme's dialogue.
Yeah. Anything Raul Julia says is gold, but
Oh yeah. He's turned chicken shit into chicken salad, but Van Damme's done the opposite. Anyway, yeah. So they swipe the keys and then manage to unlock themselves, and then the truck gets overthrown, and then yeah, the truck's on its way out. And then what happens? And then yeah, as they're driving along, Ken like suddenly shoots Guile, and Guile's like, "Oh," falls over. I remember as a kid being like, "Does that mean he's dead?" Like I fell for this shit. And I was like, "Why? Why have they killed him off this
you
early?"
Mark.
Proper Mark. Um, and then Chun-Li just happens to be standing there, and really crappily throws a homing device that very gently goes. Yeah, it just gently goes into like the net of the van. I was like, that could easily just fall out, you know. Oh, and then Cammy calls some medics, and that's when they realise, oh no, he's dead. Oh no, it's so
It's at
sad.
this point that I realised Cammy's supposed to be British.
No, she does have a British flag on
Yeah,
her.
but not with that fucking accent. She's not.
G'day.
Medics, mate.
Let's
Bring
get
the
some medics right
right
now.
Ah, strength.
Oh, and then we cut to Bison, and he's got on his whole model thing of Bisonopolis, I think it's called. He's discussing having a food court over there. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. And then there's when we get the news report from Chun-Li saying that Guile is dead. And what was he? DJ says to him, "Oh, that's great news, General. Congratulations." He's like, "On the contrary, DJ, I'm on." He's like, "Oh, okay." I found that bit so funny.
Yeah. That popped me quite hard. It's just a bit where he first has all the bison. It's a bit where he first has all the bison dollars.
No, that's later on with Sagat.
Okay. Okay.
But that was funny. But yeah, he goes on about, oh, he's sad, he wanted to have a duel with him and then snap his spine. And then I didn't write it down, but he has this absolutely great speech about how he's not a warlord. He just wants to create the perfect soldier and bring peace and all that sort of thing. And once he's done that, suddenly Zangief's got tears coming out of his eyes. Going, that was beautiful. The DJ just gives him this look, and it's so funny. There's moments in this film of genuine bands, and like this is really funny, and the rest of it is just stupid shit.
So Andrew Brianowski, who plays Zangief. You may better know him as Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake and Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. So still going strong in his career.
Indeed. But
actually, very few people in this cast are dead, which is a surprise for a film in the 90s.
Now you've said that, we're going to get terrible, terrible news. It better not be JCVD. From what I understand, he's a better man now. Right. So what happens next? Yeah, then so Chun-Li is following the signal, but somehow they see that there's interference in the truck, and Egon's like, let me try and work it out.
Let me analyze the signal. Is that something you can do in a TV truck? I don't quite understand what's happening here, but all right.
All right, that's fine. Then they realise it's tracking to the AN headquarters, and then she gets all dressed up like a cat burglar, and it breaks into the AN headquarters. I'm like, okay, that's a thing. You know, get break into an AN headquarters like that. And then she's
Luckily, it's just a warehouse.
Yeah,
no security.
Oh, it's because it's in Shadaloo and it's shit. It's run down, so yeah, you can just break into it. It's fine. Yeah, so she's in the AN headquarters, and then she tracks it down to the morgue. Where this, even as a kid, I didn't understand this. Guy always under a sheet, wearing exactly the. He's like, is he just waiting for someone to discover him, or specifically Chun-Li to discover him? And then he goes.
But she walks through that lab, and it's like got an old skeleton in it. It's got like bits of bodies all cut up. It's like, where are you?
You're in the London dungeon or something. And then I wrote down something stupid. He says, he goes, if I didn't give you an interview when I'm alive, there's no way I'm going to give you one when I'm dead. I was like, again, what does this mean? What? If she didn't come in there, how long was he going to lie under that sheet for?
All day, just having a nap. And then this is where I got the next bit where T-Hawk and Cammy come in. T-Hawk like, oh, for fuck's sake, Dad, I want to help. I want to wash the car. And then he's like, it's not about your vendetta. It's about mine. Like, who are you talking to? Everybody's left the room.
That's right, because before that, we get a bit of exposition because Chun-Li says, no, I don't want a news story. I want his head because he'd killed my father. And then we learn more about that, later. But yeah, you're right. T-Hawk and Cammy arrest her, and then she jumps out the window. And in fact, Sam looks out the window and goes, I don't want them.
Pervy old Guile. Not the first time he does it. Not the
No,
last.
I could write a book on the stupid shit and pervy shit that Van Damme says in this movie. It's just gold. So this bit is so weird. Then we get to some sort of circus party that's going on like in the desert, I guess. And yeah, it's
I
fucking
have
weird.
written down, pretty sure this is racist.
On every level. This
On
is
every
racist.
level, something's going on.
It's so bizarre. Yeah, it's some weird circus party, and M Bison's doing business with Sagat for the guns and all that. And then when he goes to pay him, he opens up the case, and he's not paid him in dollars or local currency, whatever. He's paid him in bison dollars, and he's like, "This will be worth £5 after I've kidnapped their queen and like made her accept the currency rate or something." And then yeah, predictably that gets Sagat very, very, very upset.
I wrote down here, where can I get some of those bison dollars? That's pretty cool.
eBay, I'd imagine, or Amazon, or Etsy. I'm sure someone's made it up, but they are pretty cool. And then, this bit baffled me as well. Chun-Li, E Honda, and Balrog have somehow managed to get employed for the night to be the evening entertainment at this party. And not only that, they've been taught the skills of the circus to do
Yeah, oh
disappearing
yeah,
acts, trapeze acts, everything.
they've learned a full routine. Why? Why didn't they just put a bomb there? It would have been easier.
Oh my god, yeah. She's jumped out the window, regrouped with them, got employed at this party, put a load of explosives there. What a load of shit.
Found a telly from somewhere.
Yeah.
This is one
Oh.
of those. You've got Ryu and Ken are talking at one point, and this is one of those many examples in this film of people talking without their mouths moving.
Oh, I noticed
Like
that.
Ryu's talking just nothing.
And it's really badly edited. Like Ken spots Chun-Li and think, "Oh, yeah, I want to fuck her," in it. So he walks off, right? And then as Ryu's talking, it cuts to Ken walking away, and you could just hear Ryu talking. It just
Yeah,
really shoddily edited.
there's a bit where he was like, "Oh, you forget what our sensei talked to us." Like that man has never seen the inside of a dojo. Shut the fuck up.
Never. Hardly any of these guys' fault, apparently. They're all being taught like on the day or whatever. But sorry, yeah, I don't want to keep going into your Smith trivia. Yeah, so Ken goes to Chun-Li's, I don't know, changing room or whatever, and then immediately caught by E Honda and Balrog, and then Ryu shortly joins them, and then yeah, also he gets caught as well. And this is where we get exposition that E Honda used to be a sumo wrestler in Hawaii, and Balrog used to be a boxer, and they're like, yeah, until Sagat's like gang ruined our reputations, but they don't exactly explain how. Like, wait, what? How?
Also, with the E Honda thing, I'm glad they said that he was Hawaiian, but why the hell did they make that change? Like, what was the point? Like, you could have just cast a Japanese actor.
Maybe there wasn't anyone who could legitimately look like a sumo wrestler, whereas I don't know, they just thought they'll get a big Samoan guy. He might have even been a wrestler. I don't know.
I
Who
mean,
knows?
Yokozuna was still alive.
Yeah,
You
and could
could have
speak
cast
English.
Yoko. Yeah, well, actually, no. To be fair, he also was Samoan. He was not.
Yeah.
He also was not Japanese. Okay, ignore that. That's a bad idea.
And he was grossly overweight by 1994, so that probably wouldn't have worked. But also, I forgot to mention, is it just me or does Balrog look like a cut price Danny Glover?
Do you know who that is?
No.
He's playing Balrog. That's the fantastically named Grand L. Bush.
Grandel Bush.
Yeah, Grand Bush.
Oh my god.
Who was one of Johnson and Johnson in Die Hard.
Well, there you go. I knew I'd
I was in grade school, dickhead.
I just kept writing down as not Danny Glover, but there you go.
Yeah, no. He was in Die Hard. There you go.
Well, there you go. All right. So, yeah, apparently their reputations were ruined. Don't know how. And yeah, they all know about Ken.
I mean, I can guess.
Oh, and also, a side note, he's in the game originally. He was supposed to be M. Bison because it was supposed to be a little nod to M. Tyson, Mike Tyson, but they got really nervous about copyright issues and stuff, so they started switching it around. So M. Bison became Raul Julia's character. Balrog became, because Balrog, I think, was going to be Vega, and Vega was going to be Sagat. Like all the bosses' names were switched around. But yeah, when we finally got the American and European versions of the game, that's who we got. But yes, originally the boxer was Balrog was supposed to be called M. Bison. There you go.
There you go.
Cool. And then during this bit, when Sagat and M. Bison are getting really angry with each other over the fake money and the outrage of challenging him, that sort of thing, this is when we get Chun-Li has somehow installed a TV and video equipment and said, "Oh, we're going to blow all of your weapons up and everything." And
But you know what you're going to do if you're going to blow someone up? You give them a 5-minute warning.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to blow up in 5 minutes. Why not just do it? You know, kill
Just kill
everyone.
him. If you want to kill him, just kill him. Don't be talking about, you know what? There's a truck full of explosive, and you'll never guess. Just sit there. It's gonna blow you up, and just wait for a minute. It's good. Don't run. Uh,
Which they don't at first. They're all just staring in disbelief at the TV as this truck is going towards the tent. And
Chun-Li as
it's,
well when she's talking. Another example of not moving her mouth.
yes, terrible, terrible editing. And then we get another hilarious bit when Zangief goes, quick, change the channel. And they all just look at him
There's,
again.
so there's a bit prior to that, just when the two gangs, when Sagat's gang and Bison's gang are facing off with one another, and it comes out and Vega puts his claw on. I'm like, mate, they got guns, fucking idiot. What are you gonna do with your little cat claw?
And also, he's managed to reclaim that claw because surely when they got arrested earlier on, all that shit would have been seized. But
He's got a whole cupboard full of them at home with like different motifs.
oh, God. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. And then
It's my Hello Kitty one.
Pretty. Yeah, actually, that was one bit we missed out as well. When Sagat and Bison's gang, they each grab hold of Ken and Ryu, and then they rat out Chun-Li and Balrog and E Honda. Yeah. They're the ones. So they, keep up the farce.
I mean, they rat them out after
the
they've already started talking. It's hardly like they went, you need to find this reporter. It's just like, oh, that noise over there. Why don't you not kill me?
Yeah, bit daft. Oh, then we get really 90s surveillance and computers of Bison's lair because by now, Guile and his team have managed to track down Bison's lair. Couldn't quite work out how they've done that. Oh no! Wait! It's because they put a homing device with Ken and Ryu, and by this time they've now made it to Bison's lair. So that's how they've worked it out.
Got it.
Yeah, but they were zooming in on all the characters' names, that sort of shit. So yeah, Ken, Ryu, and Sagat come to Bison's lair as guests, but Chun-Li, E Honda, and Balrog are not their prisoners. Presumably they got caught because surely after they tried to blow up the party, they just ran off. But they imagine for some reason they've been caught by Bison's gang.
You get that bit of over the explosion of Raul Julia saying, "Find them,
find Chun-Li." Yeah. So that's probably why. Yeah, this bit's so perfect. E Honda and Balrog get taken to the interrogation room, but Chun-Li is ordered to Bison's chambers for a private interview. Like, this is gonna be pervy shit in it. Ain't no private interview. And then she spits at Ken. You know, like in movies when people
just loads of it.
Yeah, because normally when people do it, they just go, and then people sell it like they've been spit. But she goes, oh. It goes all over him. I was like, oh, dirty cow. I wonder if the bloke who played Ken was like, dude, seriously? Oh dear. Then we get our first bit of footage of the hostages who look absolutely fine.
I'm a bit tired. Well, they've only been there like a day.
No, by this point, it's 72 hours and it's jumped down to 12 hours or something like, wow, 2 days went like really quick. But no one's pissed themselves. They all look quite well nourished. None of them look thirsty. They just look all right.
M. Bison's been jumping around all over the shop in 2 days. They've been, quite active.
That's it. Oh, then what? Then we get, Guile is then in a room full of troops explaining what they're going to do, and they're going to say, oh, we're going to, make our way up by boat to the lair.
Did you hear this? He goes, an attack from the air is impossible. And then you hear someone go, oh.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And then he explains about how this one boat is going to make its way up the river. And I think it's Captain Sawada said, but sir, that pilot would have to be out of his mind. He said, luckily, Bison has driven me crazy, so I will do it. For fuck's sake.
Of course he was going to do it. When you see the boat load, he's got a fucking name written on the side.
Yeah, it says Colonel F. William
This is my boat. And then T-Hawk's like, no, God, Dad, I want my own boat. Cheer up, T-Hawk.
T-Hawk sucks in this film. It really does.
He doesn't do nothing. He just sells about.
Even Kylie Minogue with her shitty acting does more than T-Hawk in this film. But yeah. Then we cut to an interrogation room and E Honda's being whipped, but he's absolutely no selling it because apparently he's a sumo wrestler and they can transport their minds so they don't feel pain. Like, oh, please.
This is the bit where the torture says, "Let me show you how we treat foreigners in Shadaloo." Is like, where are you from?
Yeah. And also racist.
Because this is clearly an Asian country, and you do not look Asian.
And I didn't know whether he was supposed to be one of the characters of the game. Like, no, he's not. He's just some dude.
No, he's just a torturer.
Yeah, and then the torturer leaves the room and just says to Balrog, you're next. Like, why the hell are you leaving? Where are you going? But then once he does, Balrog and E Honda very easily just pull the chains out of the wall.
So this this had one of my favorite lines of the film in it. Because, hey, give me a hand. He goes, we've only been in prison 2 hours, brother. Ask me again in 2 months.
Yeah. And he says, "Oh, next time you go away with your mind, bring back a pizza." I was like, "What?" Fucking awful dialogue.
I enjoyed the other joke. I enjoyed the joke, the wanking joke.
Well, okay. oh yeah, we missed something earlier on. Like when they arrive at Bison's lair, Bison says to Zangief, "Get them fresh clothes." I was like, "Oh, I see where this is going."
I wonder what that will be.
Because just like in Mario, next we see Ken and Ryu, and they're wearing their geese like they wear in the game. One's wearing red, one's wearing white. But there are other soldiers training there as well. I was like, "Oh, okay." So he didn't just randomly give them karate geese like he wants them to dress like all the other soldiers. Like, fine, fine, fine. Yeah, he's giving them a bit of a tour and he wants them to train with them. And that's when he does if you're watching on video, he gives them the half thumbs up thing that he does throughout the rest of the film, which is quite funny. This bit is so stupid. And I forgot Simon Callow was in this film.
Yeah.
So
Simon, he turns up to be a stuffy Brit.
stuffy old Brit. Yeah, I actually wrote down stuffy AN official. So yeah, he arrives and he tells Guile, this isn't going to happen. We're going to pay Bison the $20 billion. Please order all your
This would
soldiers.
never fucking happen.
$20 billion.
Never in a million years. They'd be like, actually, what we're going to do is just nuke it. Now you found out where it is. We're just going to drop a nuke on it. There you go.
Exactly.
Job's good. And we'll kill the hostages, but it's just safer this way.
And then we get my favourite speech that Guile does. I've actually written this down. So,
I know you're desperate to do it in your voice.
I know I'm desperate to do it. So Guile goes over and instead of telling them, "Yeah, look, we're not doing this after all," he says, "Troopers, I have just received new orders. Our superiors say the war is cancelled and we can all go home. Basan is getting paid off for his crimes, and our friends would have died here. Will have died for nothing. But we can all go home. Meanwhile, ideas like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up. But we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm going to get on my boat, and I'm going to go upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard that next time Bison wannabe is going to feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?" Fucking great speech.
But Mr. Guile, it's 5:30. Technically, I can't go home.
Yeah, they all seem really happy that they're going to go to war and potentially be killed. It's like, it must
we're all going to get court-martialed.
Yeah. Oh, dear. But yeah, I think Simon Callow doesn't look happy about this whatsoever. Then we cut.
Who stopped them?
And then, is it next bit? No, I think it's a scene before he jumps off in his boat. Then we
He
get
jumps
to
off his boat with his name on the side of it.
Yeah.
God.
Colonel William F. Guile.
Yeah, right.
Then
Hello, my name's William.
He says that later on as well.
Where were you born? Oklahoma.
Hey, I thought I had a bit here when I said that he drives off and he soaks Simon Callow. Yes, yeah, that is a bit. So straight after that big rousing, after that rousing speech, he gets in his boat and Simon Callow's like, "No, you can't do that." And he drives off in his boat and he soaks him and drives off in the William F. Guile boat.
He goes, Guile, so stop them. Well, I would, but some idiot just scanned me. Oh, I know what you do. Because then in which case you're stealing government property and you could be shot.
Yeah, and you're actually ordering a coup. Like you've been told not to do
this.
This
is a court-martial defense. You're all going to prison.
Now, there was a funny bit. I'm sure it was intentional. But as Simon Callow's goes, "I've got orders," and the orders fall out. And he looks at them. Yeah. Anyway,
there's the woman that's with him. There's 2 people with him who don't get a single line of dialogue. But the woman's running around with her shoes, going, "Oh no!"
Every scene, she's carrying her shoes.
But this muddy old shit. I'd rather ruin my heels than get my feet all muddy. Anyway.
Yeah, Simon Callow's in 2 scenes because we see him a bit later on. But anyway,
we're now heading towards the best scene of the film.
Smith's favourite scene, and I'll give you the honours for this bit in a minute. So we're in Bison's chambers. Bison's slowly getting changed into something more comfortable, which is really pervy. Chun-Li's dressed like a geisha, I suppose. I think it's supposed to be her outfit for when you do the mirror matches. Like if it was Chun-Li versus Chun-Li, she'd be in blue, she'd be in red. And then she gives a whole exposition
I don't know why they didn't just put her in blue.
Yeah, with the white pigtails and stuff. But no, they didn't. She gives all the exposition about her father in a village when Bison's gang came there and stormed it and murdered him. And then I will let you deliver the line, your favourite line.
That's where she says a hero in 1,000 paces. Goes, I don't remember any of it. For you, the day that Bison graced your village was the most important day in your life. For me, it was Tuesday.
And it's everyone's favourite line.
So fucking good. Like that whole scene is just really well done because Ming-Na Wen, who is still going today, she's in She was in Agents of Shield. She's
Mhm.
in a lot of the Star Wars stuff now.
Yep.
She has not aged a day
Nope.
since then, despite being close to 60. She's fantastic in this scene, and he's just having a fucking great old time.
Yeah, we haven't spoke much about Raul Julia. He is chewing scenery in every single
Oh,
scene,
he's swinging for the fences
and it's weird
and nailing
because
it every time.
I've compared him to Frank Langella in Masters of the Universe. Like, you've taken a really shitty script, you've embraced this, and you're just having a great old time with it, you know, and it
And for the
shows.
same reasons, they did it for their kids.
Yeah,
Like his kids
absolutely.
love Street Studio, so he did this for his kids.
Yeah,
And he's just absolutely great in it. Like
yeah,
he's absolutely, because I think of him as Gomez Adams,
yeah,
and specifically in Adams Family Values, which is a film we will never cover on this because not only does it hold up, it's one of the funniest fucking films of the last 50 years.
it's very good.
He is so good in that and has such a presence that when he was in when you think he's in this, you're like, oh god, it's a terrible fucking film. What's he doing in this? And he's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Also, I noticed in this scene, just first time I've ever noticed this, first time I've ever clocked it, there's the picture of the clown
Mm,
with the bison hat on, but it's John
yep.
Wayne Gacy clown.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd never
Creepy as
noticed that when I was
shit.
a kid, obviously, but
Yeah.
it made me laugh when I saw it.
Yeah, there's loads of weird little Easter eggs if you look carefully, but yeah, that's a strange one. Oh dear. Right. So after Smith's favourite scene, we then get Balrog and E Honda. They've escaped. So Ken and Ryu have punched out that torturer guy, but when they go into the chambers to help E Honda and Balrog, they start choking them. This is when they assure them that no, 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 we're on the same side. So okay, fine, instantly forgive you. And then Chun-Li gives more exposition about the revenge. As Bison again is tempting to make the room look more sexy, he starts putting on music and all this sort of thing, which I thought was funny. And then yeah, she beats the absolute shit out of him. It's actually quite a good fight that they have. He doesn't do much, like she's doing flying kicks and all
He
this other
says,
sort of stuff.
he's like, I know women and you are harmless.
Oh yeah, you hid behind your boxer and your sumo wrestler. You've never thrown a
Why? Since you've
punch
been
in
in the
your
country, you've
life.
never even thrown a punch.
This is what I wanted you to think. It's just breaks away a shackle and just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah. All I know about this is so when I was watching this, Bison came on in the scene and he's wearing that smoking jacket. I was like, oh god, I want that jacket. My other
It's
half
so
was like, I
cool.
knew you were going to say that. I knew the second I saw it that you want that jacket and all those hats.
Oh my god.
Like,
And those
the hats
slippers as
would be
well, they were
quite cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so as she's beating the shit out of him, Ken, Ryu, Balrog, and Honda will enter, and then Bison, for some reason, has got a escape pod in his own chambers, locks his head with him, puts sleeping gas, and Honda's like, "It's gas!" It's like, yeah, no shit.
He Honda takes the best fall. Like he falls over, just knocks a bunch of shit over when he falls. Fuck you.
And then it's probably the only bit of shitty acting. Raul Julia goes, "No!" Does this really evil laugh, and it sort of cuts between the flames of like
Yeah, yeah,
someone's
yeah,
statue or something. That was pretty cool. Then we get Gold traveling along in his boat, and then he seems to have footage of him at dinner with a couple of birds, and Charlie, and he's putting it on like it
Do
just
you know who
starts
one of those?
watching
Do you
it.
know one of those women was?
Oh,
One of the women in that footage was his current wife. Now
oh,
he had been divorced from his third
oh.
wife earlier in the year, had married his fourth wife, who was the woman in the tape, and she was pregnant with his child at the time, and he was knocking off Kylie Minogue through much of the shoot. So yeah, awkward.
Van Damme. Oh, then we're back at Bison's laboratory, and Charlie's looking more like Blank now, except he's not. It looks more like a
He's
Blank
not.
Halloween costume.
I think it looks like Michael Jackson painted green.
It looks so rubbish, doesn't it?
It's
It's
so
so
shit.
bad. So why did you just don't bother including the character of Blanca? Just don't do it. Right? But then like Dowsing's fucking around with the process, so you know he doesn't completely go mad. He's like showing him nice footage or whatever. Then what happens? Yeah, then Ken, Ryu, E Honda, Balrog, and Co. have all been recaptured and they're led into the main room.
Immediately.
Immediately, yeah, rubbish. And then Bison said, if you had worked together rather than against each other, you might have been successful. And then it looks like Chun-Li's about to say something, like, and then it just cuts to another scene. Like this hitting so bad. So bad. Oh, then back to Van Damme on Nightboat. And it suddenly goes into super.
Oh, there's always a fjord.
You don't have to shout. I'm all around you. And then he goes into super stealth mode. He just pulls up a lever that says stealth. This is so stupid.
Not how stealth works.
And instead of being
Go
covert trying to get
invisible.
in, they go invisible and then start shooting at the satellite dish. I'm like, why are you doing that if you're trying to be stealth? And then DJ immediately alerts, like, what's all this about? And then Bison starts attacking the boat. And then manages to speak to it via video link. There's a lot of being able to patch into things very quickly to talk to people on whatever, screen they're on. This is another one of Giles' great lines. This is the collection agency, Bison. Your ass is 6 months overdue, and it's mine. Fuck's sake.
And Sagan's like, Guile, alive. And it's like, you fucking idiot.
No. Sagat says, and then Bison mocks him. I guess you didn't see that, did you?
Yeah.
Covers his eye up.
That
I watched it with my wife and she
delivery.
couldn't stop laughing at that bitch. That bitch so funny.
You didn't see that, did you?
Oh god! And then that's when Bison brings over his flying control panel desk thing, and it's got all like a joystick on it, like the Street Fighter 2 arcade would have. Like, oh Jesus Christ!
I love it when he's coming over. He goes, "Stand clear, stand clear." Health and safety.
He just starts button bashing it, just like how you would play the arcade. And then just before he does it, that's when Guile, Cammy and Teal'c are all like, oh, let's get out of here type thing and jump off, and then Bison manages to blow it up and goes, game over! Oh, another shameless nod to the game. And then what happens? Oh, yeah, this is where Dhalsim gets caught then interfering with Blanka's transformation by that guard who's reading a titty mag. I don't know.
He's a nasty looking old knacker, that boy. With his long hair, greasy ponytail, big old fat lad.
Like that knacker. Like that bloke from Hollow Man. I don't know. Maybe it's his son or something. And then,
yeah.
And then as he's beating the
Grunberg.
And then as he's beating the shit out of Dhalsim, they inadvertently release Blanka. I don't think that's how it works. Just lean on a lever and he just comes out. And then, Blanka looks absolutely rubbish.
Dhalsim gets thrown into the chemicals and they all go all over his arms. And I was like, is he going to get stretchy? No, he ain't, because they ain't got the budget for that shit.
No, absolutely. Yeah, because in the game, he was a Hindu
mystic
temple monk guy, who could levitate. He got stretchy arms, he could blow fire. And this is just he's a doctor who's very unhappy about what he's doing.
I'm conflicted.
Then he helps Dhalsim. I think he just throws that pervy guy away.
It's about all he fucking does in the film, right? He does jack shit.
And then Guile, Cammy, and Teal'c arrive on land, not looking like they've been in the water whatsoever.
No, so dry. This is the one sequence, I think, where Guile looks blonde. All for the rest of the film, he looks like kind of brown hair. Suddenly, weirdly, looks really blonde for a bit.
I thought he looked more ginger in it. But yeah, you're right, actually. That one bit does look blonde. I don't know, maybe it's the lighting so rubbish, it just makes his hair look gingery brown. Yeah, because in the game, he had like blonde, kind of flat top mohawk thing. Yeah. Then what? Yeah, then
this is where they fight the guards, and Cammy goes, kick! She kicks someone. Like, you're just reminding yourself of the moves. Kick!
Kick, mate. But then she does
kangaroo kick.
Oh dear. No, she does do some cool things. She sort of does like a victory roll thing on the dude to take him out, which is cool. But it's a bit like Masters of the Universe, though. There's lots of quick editing when people are fighting, so you can't really see it too well. And I think it was
reasons behind that. I will go into that.
I'm trying my best not to delve into Smith trivia too early. Oh god! And then we cut to Simon Callow on the phone explaining that, no, it's fine. They haven't gone away. It's fine. But then it doesn't make sense later on when they haven't paid M. Bison, because surely if he's told the people, everything's gone to plan, they just would have paid the $20 billion. But anyway, whatever. So that's it. Simon Callow in 2 scenes, and he's like full from the credits or whatever.
Oh, this bit with Teal'c where they're like, Teal'c, what's with the headband? It's like, it's Cherokee. I wear it in battle for luck. Like, right, okay.
Yeah, at this point in the film, everyone is slowly starting to look like the characters from the game. Yeah,
except Cammy never wears her game accurate costume. Now there are publicity stills with her wearing that. So just
Yep, I've seen those. But she has never. I hope my wife's not listening. No, but at this point she has got pigtails, because before she had it all like bunched up. At this point she's got the pigtails like she does in the game. Guile starts abseiling into the ground. Then we get another shot of the hostages looking absolutely fine.
You say everyone's starting to look how they did in the game. The disappointing thing is there's no street fighting in the game. There's also no bit where a large sumo beats up a car for 3 minutes, which I was disappointed. There's no truth in this. There's no this is a bad adaptation.
I love that bit in the game. The bonus bit, you smashed up the car. There was another bit when barrels were flying down. You had to keep on kicking the barrels. That bit was cool. And then we get on the news report that apparently Chun-Li is missing, and then the 72-hour clock hits 0, and then DJ says, no, your $20 billion hasn't been paid. which again makes no sense because Simon Callow has told the bloke on the phone, "Oh, everything went to plan," so surely the money
Yeah,
just would have
yeah.
been paid. It makes no sense to me. Then what happens? Then Guile continues his descent, and then Cammy and T-Hawk are doing something or other on land. I don't know, just milling
Hanging
about.
around, fighting a
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
fighting a whole army by themselves over the next few scenes. There's a bit where the guy goes, "I'll be ready if I'm alive." Like, who are you talking to? You are by yourself.
He's like, I can't believe I trained for 4 years for this shit, or something like that. And they added that in so they get PG
So they get
13
PG
rated.
13. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Guile arrives, Bruce Willis style, in the laboratory, and he's immediately attacked by Blanca. And, oh, but Charlie, it is me. It is your friend. It is
How does he
William.
recognize him?
Yeah.
How does he?
Oh,
He looks.
yeah. How did he know he got taken to the laboratory? He could have been in the pit with all the other hostages.
It could just be some rando.
Blanca's like, friend, friend. Just keeps on saying it.
Help me! Help me! And he's like, "Oh, I'll help you." Gets his gun out. It's got weirdly dark. Like,
I'm gonna.
oh, he's gonna kill him. It's like, oh, okay. Mercy
Yes,
kill.
but instead of Dowson coming over and going, "What the fuck are you doing?" He just goes, "No, you have no right."
Yeah, you have no right. And then he goes to this big old speechifying, which is, mighty fine for a man that's helped turn him into a monster. And he goes, he has the capacity for good and for evil. You'd kill him because he has difficulty understanding the difference. Yes, yes, he would.
He's ugly.
Because
Bang.
because because if he doesn't understand the difference, he might be like, good. No, you've just ripped someone's head off. Good.
Friend.
Friend.
Oh Jesus.
No,
Oh,
you
shit.
have no right.
You have no right.
See what? He changes his fucking tune in a minute.
Oh
But
my
no,
god, yeah.
we deserve to die. Anyway, we cut
Yeah,
forward.
yeah, we'll get that. Yeah, then Bison then gives a speech to the hostages that, oh, instead of giving you a mercy killing by firing squad, you're going to be ripped apart by Blanca. I'm like, okay, that's really fucking dark. Like, imagine if that whole thing was a success and this monster just going like, "Rah!" just murdering everyone. And instead, the chamber comes out, it opens, and God goes, yeah! And goes flying way too far and gives Bison a flying kick. So funny.
He
Oh
then
my
disables
God.
the controls by kicking him.
Why are you doing that? So yes, we
I'll
know you're a martial artist and you can fight. You don't have to kick everything. Oh
open the
God.
door for you. Yeah.
And
No, you've
then
ruined the door. You've ruined the door, guy.
again,
Bastard.
and then because he kicked that panel, so of that freed Chun-Li and Balrog and all those guys now they're free, and then everyone just starts fighting everyone like in a pub
Well, no,
fight.
they just pulled the thing they were tied
Oh
to
right.
off. They just pulled it off. And it was like, oh, all right.
The
you,
security's
you've done
rubbish in
well.
this
So,
and there,
yeah.
isn't it? Oh God. Then there's like it goes on forever. There's a massive shootout between the guards and Guile. And Guile just seems to have an infinite amount of like machine gun ammo. And I was like, where did he have that gun? I swear he didn't have that earlier. He's just shooting everyone. Then we cut to like, yeah, Cammy and T-Hawk are outside fighting all the stormtroopers. I think who are these guys? They've never really explained who these guys are. Just loyal servants. Oh, they're probably those
Yeah.
those
But they
karate
fight off
guys.
that entire army by themselves. It's just two people with handguns.
Yeah, yeah. Because by this point, the AN soldiers haven't turned up yet, so it's just Cammy and T-Hawk outside fighting everyone. Oh shit. Oh dear.
Load of shit.
And then this bit really popped me. E Honda and Zangief start having a fight, and it goes on for the rest of the film. It goes on for like half an hour. Every time it cuts to another scene, they're like, smashing through more walls. Oh dear, oh dear. And then Sagat and Vega were like, oh yeah, they see Ken and Ryan like, oh, revenge. And they go after him like, revenge for what? What? What do they do apart from selling you some shitty guns? Like,
It might be time for you boys to leave.
and then he puts the claw on again.
He's like, oh, I'm glad I brought my claw.
The handy claw. And at this point, yeah, that's when AN troops arrive. There's an absolute just battle going on outside. Everyone's just be shooting everyone. Then I think
Ken goes to leave because they realise they hadn't given him a character. So he's like, oh, I'm going. And then Roy's like, don't. He's like, I'm going. And then 5 minutes later he goes, oh, all right, I'm back.
But before that happens, Bison starts talking about accepting defeat. He goes, together, DJ, we will accept defeat together. And then you just see DJ very slowly just walking away from him. That bit popped me as well. In fact, any scene with DJ and Zangief is absolute gold in this film. And then, yeah, that's when we get the bit when Ken's like, no, fuck this, I want to leave. And him and Ryo have a bit of an argument and then walk off. Uh, we see Yonder and Zangief burst for a wall. Because at one point they're fighting, and they're fighting so much they go through like the ground
Floor, yeah.
of the laboratory, like some shit. I don't know. That's when the Guile like swings up to a bridge and he's confronted. Oh, this bit I loved. Guile swings up to a bridge and all the stormtroopers coming towards him, and he pulls out a knife, and then they all start back off. He goes, looks really cool, and that's when he realizes all the alien soldiers are behind him. So, like, sir, we're pushing back the enemy, and he just really calmly puts his knife away. Oh, I always found that bit funny. Even when I was a kid, I thought that's great. And at that point, that's when M. Bison starts talking to him on the Tannoy. He's like, "Come out, wizard!" Like that, and then he comes out.
Come out from behind your curtain.
That's right. Gets on the bridge, and that's when we get the lines from the game. He's like, "Are you man enough to fight me?" And he's like, "Anyone who opposes me will be destroyed." I was like, "Ah, it's like the game." That's what they used to say before they used to fight each other.
Yeah.
And then Guile says, "Right, everyone get out. I'm going to fight Bison." And for some reason, Bison's okay with this. Yeah, cool. Everyone fuck off. Me, I'll just fight him. Like, wait, no. What? Why are you? Just let them all shoot each other. Whatever.
Because he thinks he's better. He thinks he can beat him.
Then we get a fight with Bison and Guile, and it's quite a good fight. It does go on for a while. Then
we missed the bit with Zangief and E Honda.
Oh no, no, we get into that.
Oh,
no,
okay, all right.
Then suddenly, Captain Sawada, criminally underused Captain Sawada, turns up, starts talking in his native tongue to someone, and then
Did your version have subtitles?
yes, did yours not?
I didn't. No, couldn't understand a word of it.
Oh, they started saying some shit about, oh, let's look at this monitor. This could prove useful, or something like that. And they click on it, and Honda and Zangief are fighting to the sounds of Godzilla and King Kong. They're smashing up Bisonopolis. Oh, this is so stupid. You
realise the entire reason why those characters are in the film, the Japanese characters, it's just so they can watch that.
This is so racist. so racist. And they're still fighting. It's been going on for like 20 minutes now. Oh, then we get Guile and Bison fighting, and then we get when Guile does the flash kick like he used to do in the game. And I wonder, like, did Van Damme actually do that, or do you reckon he had cables that flipped him backwards?
Cables.
I don't know. He was pretty agile. That's a Balrog and Chun-Li. For some reason, Balrog's now got boxing gloves on.
Yeah, he's got them somewhere.
And he's taken his trousers off, and he presumably took it. So now he looks exactly like he does in the game. So he's wearing a blue vest and shorts, and he's got boxing gloves on.
Oh, it's a bit warm in here, isn't it? Just put my trousers off.
Because this is my point. By this point, everyone slowly starts stripping their clothes off so they look like how they do in the game. It's so fucking stupid. Oh dear.
Yeah, even Sagat by the end has got like completely shirtless and has a big scar up him.
Which is in the game in Street Fighter 1. Ryu done an uppercut, and that's what he's got the big scar on his chest for. But yeah, that's right. Then what happens? Then Guile kicks Bison into a computer, which sort of electrocutes him. Like that. We think he's dead. And as he starts talking to Cammy on something, some sort of device, that's when we see.
How are you, sir, mate?
Yeah, I didn't get that the last thing you said.
Here's Bison, all dead.
Yeah. But then we see his suit is pulsating. I can never work out, was it his suit bringing him back to life, or was it the computer bringing him back to life?
That was his suit. His suit was connected to the computer, and it kind of gave him like chest decompressions. That's a pretty nifty suit. I'd want one of them.
I guess. But yeah, he gets up and then just like immediately electrocutes Guile with some really crappy looking cartoon effects. And he goes flying off. And then we see DJ's robbing Bison's safe like that. And he's like, I should have stayed at Microsoft. So, okay, that's funny. Oh, because he's a computer guy. Okay. Then Ken comes in, also wants to loot the room, and he finds a really shitty looking statue that he wants to steal. But that's when he sees on an intercom that Sagat and Vega are about to ambush Ryu. So suddenly has a change of heart, like, oh, Ryu, man, oh, I'm coming for you. I was like, you couldn't give a shit a minute ago. Why do you care now?
I was going to leave all these other people to die, but not you.
So then, right on cue, Ryu starts having a fight. Who's
Ryan? And
not Ryan. Ryu starts having a fight with Vega in the locker room. Now, I don't know about you. All of this now seems a little bit too little, too late. Because now there's some really impressive fights going. I was like, why could we have just got this throughout the film? Like that wicked fight we could have got in the cage earlier on. We just didn't get it.
You're saying impressive. I wouldn't call any of these fights impressive.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. But yeah, so Vega's got his mask and claw on and starts fighting with Ryu. And then this is when we now see a revived Bison. And then Guile says something about what happens at like, the glory of fighting in fist-to-fist combat. He's like, "What's wrong, Guile? Have you never heard of superconductor electromagnetism?" This is just 90s shit again, isn't it? Just nonsense. And he starts talking about how it powers his desk, it powers moving freight trains, and it levitates me, and it just starts flying towards him, and does the what's that thing called? The move called he does in the game, the psycho smash or something. I don't know. He just starts
And
flying
Guile
towards him
just stands there and lets himself get hit as he flies towards him slowly.
over and
Two
over
or
and over
three
again.
times, yeah. Oh no, he's coming right for me so slowly. I'll never be
Oh
able to
no!
move.
And at this point, Ken has now stopped being angry with Ryu and has rejoined him, and they start having a fight with him and Sagat. And then is that the bit when, for some reason, there's a furnace, and then Vega goes to punch Ryu, and he moves out of the way, and he puts Vega's face towards a burning furnace, like oh, and then takes his mask off, just been like oh.
He does takes his mask off and goes, ooh.
And also,
Oh,
if you notice,
that's very sore.
Vega only speaks 4 times in this film, and whenever he speaks, you don't see his lips move because apparently the bloke who played him, his English was terrible, so they just dubbed him, but then obviously had to do it every time he couldn't see his lips move. So he only ever speaks in a mask or when his face is kind of turned. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, this isn't Stu's trivia. This is Smith trivia. Anyway, what happens?
I didn't know that. The thing I did know, and I'll waste it now for Smith trivia, is who they originally wanted to cast as Vega. The model Fabio
Oh,
was their first choice for Vega. Yeah.
well, there you go.
There you
Well,
go.
I think who they chose in the end was good. He was a good Vega. It's fun.
He looked the part. Certainly looked the part. Yeah.
Definitely. Bison's continuing to beat the shit out of Guile with those flying punches. Guile is still just taking there again and again and again.
I've fallen over again.
Why? And then Ken and Ryu then defeat Sagat, and then Ken just gives him that shitty statue. Goes, there you go, I owe you. I was like, wait, what? What? Okay, I'm sure that statue's worthless.
Did you notice the Hadouken?
Yes, yes. Ryu does it, and you see a little flash of light as he does
flash
it.
of light.
Yeah.
So shit.
And then if you look, Ken does the you good? The uppercut, but all he does is just hits him and just spins around. He doesn't jump like 4 foot in the air or whatever like he does in the game. But yeah, yes, I did notice that. There is a count, and Vega does the rolling stab as well. Like he rolls towards Ryu and goes to punch him, but Ryu moves out of the way. So yeah, all throughout there are people doing their moves. Like during that many long battles with Zangief and Knee Honda. At one point, Knee Honda starts doing the thousand hands slap as well. Then what? Then finally, when Bison's about to do that flying punch him for like the 6th time, Gold just does this flying kick, and then Bison goes flying into the computer screen. But like, no! It looks really shit, and then it just causes a massive explosion, and then now suddenly a power surge, and the whole lair's going to blow up. Like, why?
Yeah, and this is the point where they've got like the hostages. They just found the hostages. There was all a bit earlier, like, oh no, where are the hostages? Like, they just found them at some point.
Yeah, because Balrog punches the trigger open and they get out.
Yeah. There you go. We knew where they were. We found them.
All looking fine, not malnourished or anything. Zangief and E-Honda are still fighting. It's still going on. But at this point, E-Honda says he has to go. And then quite clever what they've done. Where he's been fighting with Zangief, he's kind of got like blood and soot on his face, so it looks like he's got the makeup like he does in the game. But he's got all the war paint on. So I thought that was quite a clever way of doing it.
Yeah, and Zangief has been stripped down to his tiny pants.
Yeah, it's like what during the fight was he just being like taking his trousers off and everything. At that point, yeah,
him and Balrog team like, oh, it's a bit hot.
Yeah, very hot. These trousers must go. And then Zangief catches DJ trying to leave, and then that's when he works out Bison's the bad guy. He's like, but if he was a bad guy, why did you work for him? He was like, because he paid me a freaking fortune. He goes, and if you got any sense, you'll save your ass, get out of here. And Zangief goes, you got paid.
And this is what, DJ as well is stripped down to his vest, so he's looking more like his computer character as well.
Yeah, looking all ripped. Chun-Li mocks Cammy's hair for some reason for having pigtails. I was like, all right, it's gonna be like that.
Well, look who's talking to women. Talking about hair. I wouldn't know.
Stupid. And at this point, Zangief has done a complete face turn because then he's outside holding the door up wearing his pants going, go!
This way.
They all go running out.
And that's enough at the end for him not to be arrested.
Yes,
his part in war crimes.
Yeah. Oh, and playing dumb. I didn't realise I was just following orders. Okay, Zangief.
The Nuremberg defences is Zangief.
Nice one. Uh, yeah, then
Hermann
Sagat.
Goering, Heinrich Himmler, Zangief.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. As DJ's trying to escape, Sagat's like, "No, I'm going with you because I want to have half of that money that you've nicked."
Left Vega to die.
Yeah, we never really find out what happens to Vega. Presumably, just blows up.
Well, there's a cutscene where there isn't a cutscene. I don't think they actually filmed it, but he's meant to have landed on his claw.
Oh,
So in the original, and so the reason it got cut from like originally came in an R, and they cut it
yeah.
down to a PG-13. Well, actually got less than a PG-13, so that's why they put Jean-Claude Van Damme saying shit in it, so it got a PG-13. And what they took out was blood, and so apparently it was he lands on his own claw, and that's how he dies.
Oh, that's cool.
So Vega is dead. But in this film, it just looks like he fell over and Sagat went, "Well, fuck it.
Fuck this guy.
I'm not helping you up.
Well, I just feel like everyone's
Got
stabbing
no
each other
depth.
in the
It's
back
got no
anyway.
depth perception with one eye.
Yeah,
Can't help.
I couldn't see where he was.
He's to my left."
This bit really makes me laugh. So Guile finds Blanca and he doesn't want to leave. Like, no, no, not like this, not like this. Now I couldn't work out. Has Dowsim just shaved his head, or has all the chemicals made all his hair fall out? This
Couldn't
one,
work out either. Just looks like he's taking time out of his afternoon.
I
So
must look
everything's
like the
blown
video
up.
game character now about shaving my head.
Well, luckily I've already got the chains. I'll just shave my head off.
I'm going to
It's
assume it was the
they're going.
chemicals.
So what they're going for here, I think, is big like Frankenstein vibes. Like they're properly going for, no, we deserve to die. It's like, no,
Blanca
you're
didn't
not
do
really
anything
landing.
wrong.
Yeah,
He didn't kill anyone. He just roughed a few people up. That's all he did.
well, he
Why does
probably
he
did
deserve
kill
to
those
die?
bison guards, but
But everyone else is killing everyone. Everyone's shooting
oh
everyone.
yeah, everyone's loads of people are dead.
Well, anyway, but then Dowsim says he won't be alone. Like he's just going to wait with him while the whole thing blows up. I was like, all right, he could just run, but it's fine. And then
If good
everyone
men do nothing, that is evil enough. It's like, no, don't do that.
just
Not
get
in
out.
this. Just,
Come on.
just.
And also, Dr. Dowsim was kidnapped and forced to do this shit. He wasn't a mad scientist. Like, I was just thinking this is a great idea. He was made to do this. So why does he want to die as well? I don't know. Oh, everyone runs for their life as the temple explodes, and then Cammy and everyone else is outside, and they're sad that Kyle's dead. There's a lot of crocodile tears. And then
I've written here, act Kylie, act for all you're worth.
then Zangief goes, he was a good soldier. How the fuck do you know?
You've never met him.
Oh my god. Zangief in your pants. And then
Just standing around in his boxer shorts.
looking all cut. And then the AN troops are rounding up everyone, and then we see that Sagat and DJ have escaped into a river. But when they open the chest, would you know it? Would you believe it? That money inside is the worthless bison money, and they just start throwing it around like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but they're not dead or arrested. So
Exactly. It
no,
could be worse.
take the win. Take the
And I'm
W.
sure Sagat has probably still got quite a lot of money in the bank somewhere, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think DJ probably less so, but
He go back to work at Microsoft. It's fine.
well, that's true. Yes,
No. But he said Bison paid him a frigging fortune. I was like, so why do you need a severance pay then? Probably just assume he's
I
not
don't know.
getting
I mean,
paid
if you were,
anymore.
I mean, to be fair, if you were getting out of a burning megalomaniac's lair that had loads of priceless bits of art and
True.
money around, you'd be on the like, fill my pockets.
True. Then Guile emerges and he's not dead, and everyone's happy. And then he promises Chun-Li an interview, but only if you wear that dress. I'm like, oh,
Pervy old Guile.
sake.
So, oh, you're ruining it. You're ruining it.
You were this close. This close to a good ending. Oh, perv. Then he thanks Ken and Ryu, who earlier on he promised them first class tickets home, but now they're like, no, someone's going to put this country back together. He's like, you ever
Maybe
think
a
about
couple of-
enlisting?
Maybe a couple of hustlers can help. Nope, deeply unqualified. For large-scale municipal restructuring work, you are not qualified to do that. Sorry.
No, I'm sure he probably just sent them on their way. And then that's when he goes over to Zangief, and Zangief does the side thumb, and he turns his thumb to do it properly. And then this is where we get the cringiest bit. The temple blows up, and then they all do their poses for the win. Go like, ah! Then get the title card.
But
of
also,
Street Fighter.
Sawada's there as well, doing
Good.
his. Wait, you're not in the game.
Get out of here, Sawada.
Who the fuck are you?
Pissed.
Oh.
Oh dear. And then yeah, we get a title card, and then a little memory of Raul Julia. And then, don't know if you realise there is a post-credit scene.
So again, this is a film that, like Super Mario Brothers, that I watched again and again and again when I was a child, and I had never seen this. I left it running last night, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Mhm.
And apparently, then I read after this that they left this out of the cinematic release
Yes, I read that too.
because of Raul Julia being dead, and obviously there being no sequel.
Yeah,
That
but
didn't stop them from trying, though.
indeed. And for those of you who haven't seen it, the post credit scene is there's a bunch of rubble. We see an arm punch up through the rubble. It's M. Bison's, and then he grabs hold of a joystick or something, and then chooses he wants world domination. Clicks replay, and then it ends. I'm like, oh, but yeah, that's it. There was no sequel because unfortunately Raul Julia died before this film was even released.
And that's the end of Stephen E. D'Souza's Street Fighter, the movie, The
In
Ultimate Battle.
the ultimate battle. So yeah, that was Street Fighter. So oh dear, what a journey we've been on, and we've gone very long. So I don't want to apologise because I've had such a good time talking about this. So unless people have given up halfway through, they're not listening to us anymore. So
Probably.
let's rewind back to May 1995 for you and December 1995 for me. What did you love about Street Fighter then, the movie, when it came out?
I just love the fact that it was based on Street Fighter. I love the fact that I was seeing characters from the games live on screen. I enjoyed it as a campy piece of fun. It's very, very similar to lots of films of the same era. It has that feel about it. Like you could watch this and I don't know, The Shadow or any number of films like that, The Rocketeer, like any number of films like that, and just kind of have them as a piece. And it's just there's a feel to it, like a campiness, a certain kind of lack of quality that really kind of helps it. I mean, it's for a film that's got 15 central characters, and yes, Ken and Ryu are not. None of them are the characters from the game, really. They look like them at times, but none of them are actually the characters. No one
Bison
feels
is something.
particularly Bison. Yeah, none of them feel particularly shortchanged necessarily. You still kind of get them, and I think you could have had just like someone in the background be like, "I'm Balrog,"
Yeah,
but at least he
yeah,
gets
true.
some dialogue. But yeah, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed the campy, silly action fun of it.
Did you hate anything about it though back then, or did you just think, oh no, it's fun?
At 10, no, I don't think I had the critical faculties to hate anything about it at 10. I wasn't there going, what's that? And what is it? I think the Dr. Dowsim thing, because Dowsim was my favorite character from the game. I think that probably, even at 10, made me think, well, why? And then when he had his shaved head, I was like, is he going to do something with it? No. I'm disappointed. I'm going to eat some more sweets.
Oh dear. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably on the similar level with you. I really enjoyed it when it came out. I was bitterly disappointed there was no street fighting in it. And the bits when you think there are going to be,
I didn't even notice that when I was a kid. I was like, oh, they're having a fight. It's fine.
well, it teased you so much. Like you thought they were going to, like in the cage, and there was other bits when you think, oh, okay, like this fight's going to go on for longer, and then it doesn't. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake. And yeah, I hated Blanca. I hated him, and I
Oh,
thought
yeah, actually, yeah.
the Dowsim thing was shit. But yeah, generally as a kid, I rather enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was one of those films that had rewatchable quality. I watched it many, many,
Well, I'll
many,
watch it
many
again,
times of the year.
again and again.
And do you know what? I've not watched this film generally for about 20 years, and I can still remember all of it, scene for scene for scene for scene for
Yeah,
scene,
yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah,
It
yeah.
all came back to me. It's like, yep, I remember
I
all of
have
this.
seen it more recently than that, but I still it's very it's kind of burnt in there. Everything down to Simon Callow. Lines of dialogue
Mhm.
are burned in my memory.
Yeah, mine too. Even silly bits, like when they pointed all the guns at them, I was like, the next line's going to be toys. Like that, he shoots it, he goes, toys. I was like, my God,
Yeah,
why do I remember that? That's so
yeah, yeah,
bizarre.
yeah.
Right. And then what do we love? Probably nothing. Or hate about it now. And we've probably gone through the entire thing.
I tell you what, I don't hate it.
I
I
don't hate
didn't
it.
hate it. I had
I
a good
didn't hate
time
it.
watching it. I was like, this film isn't that bad. Like,
Uh,
it's is it a good adaptation of Street Fighter? Fuck no. No, 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 no. Is it campy, enjoyable, knowing? Does it deserve its reputation as one of the worst films ever made? Absolutely not. It
no.
it knows what it's doing. The comedy is all intentional and oftentimes very funny. Like there are laughs in there. There are like big laughs in there on purpose. Now, would it have been better with some decent fight scenes? Yes. Would it have been better with some better casting? Yes. Would it have been better with a plot that more closely resembled the game? I don't know. I don't think it would necessarily.
Mm,
But I mean, I was talking about this last night. The only way to do Street Fighter, like if you look at like Street Fighter this and then the Legend of Chun Li, which is absolute bollocks.
yeah,
I
I've
know
heard.
you've seen that is awful. Like that's unwatchable. I can't remember anything about it, and I've seen it more recently than I've seen this. Um, the only way to do it would be to do it as a TV series, really,
Yeah.
to do any
Yeah.
justice, to focus one episode on each of the main characters and have their own little plots and arcs and stories going through it and do a big kind of multi-character TV show. It's the only way to do it justice. So is it a good adaptation of Street Fighter? No. Is it a perfectly enjoyable film in its own right? Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, I was determined to hate this, and I was watching. I was like, I'm not bored. I'm certainly not bored watching
No, it
this.
whiz. I have seen films that we've covered on this. I've been getting to about three-quarters of the way through, like fucking finish.
Yeah,
This, I was like, "Dip-a-dip-a-doo," quite happily. Like, I mean, it's paced really well.
yeah,
People say
it
that it's
is.
one of the. I was reading stuff that they were saying it's sluggish and the pacing is off. I didn't get that. I thought it was kind of it kept itself
Mhm.
moving along quite nicely.
Yeah,
So it's not boring. It never stops. There's no
no,
scene where you think, "What the fuck is this about?"
yeah, not like Mario. Like I had a thoroughly terrible time watching that. Every scene, I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake, like this.
Well,
This
yeah,
was
Mario is loud and obnoxious and just fucking just
weird.
grotesque.
Yeah,
This is not that. It's some questionable choices, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't hate it. I really didn't.
I didn't hate it. Didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Right. Cool. So I'm sure we've used up a lot of it, but it's time for Smith trivia. What you got for us?
Smith trivia. Well, so I told you I'd tell you why Kylie Minogue is in this film.
Hmm.
So this is filmed in various different countries, one of which is Australia. The Australian board of or Australian Actors Union, I think it was, decided they wanted an Australian actor in the film. If you're going to film in Australia, the Australian Film Board decided they want an Australian person in the film. Stephen D'Souza is sitting on a plane. He's flicking through a magazine. He comes across Kylie Minogue on the front of People magazine Australia. Before you know it, boom, 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 she's in the film. The
Fair.
only reason she's in the film is because the country of Australia demanded it.
Yeah.
Don't know they're particularly happy about her playing a Brit, but there you go. As we've alluded to, Jean-Claude Van Damme spent the majority of the film coked off his tits. He's admitted this. He's admitted he's just a terrible human being at the time. Disappeared for days on end, causing massive delays. Was having an affair with Kylie Minogue and was generally disliked by every single person that worked on the film. Also, his salary for this was about $8 million, which is about a quarter of the budget. So the reason they got him is because Capcom wanted a big name. They wanted someone that was recognizable, and they wanted two people that were recognizable. So they got him on one, and they got Raul Julia as the second most recognizable person. Now, Raul Julia for stomach cancer, unsuccessfully as it would turn out, it was terminal, and nobody on the set knew about it. So when he turned up, he was deathly thin. And so they had to reorganize the entire shoot of the film. They'd already dropped martial arts training for people because the budget that they'd spend on Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia meant they didn't have enough money to do it. So they cut the martial arts training. They then had to do all of the fight scenes first. Now, any films that you'd care to mention that's got fighting in it will do all of the dialogue scenes first and do all of the fight scenes last, because you then have time to practice them, you have time to rehearse them. They didn't have time for that because Raul Julia was so ill and looked so thin, and so that they reorganized the whole thing because they realized they couldn't do close-ups with him because he looked terrible. So they reorganized the film, and by the time he got around to it, he was feeling looking a bit better anyway, and kind of really put his back into it. Also, interestingly, I did write, until I did a bit of research, when I was writing the film, I wrote a note that said, oh, there goes Jean-Claude Van Damme kicking around Julia's stunt double again. But no, that is him in every single shot.
Hmm.
Did all of his own stunts, despite the fact that he was near on death's door. And as I said earlier, similar to Frank Langella with He-Man Masters Universe, he did it for his kids because his kids loved it. His kids were on set with him the whole time. His family was there. They were with him. He died before it was released.
What a man.
So,
Very, very
yeah, they
sweet to do
also,
that.
this whole film as well all got put together, cast, written, directed, finished, and put out in 13 months.
It's crazy. I heard the script got written in one night. Yeah, I can believe that.
Well, one version of it would have done, but they had to keep going back and forth to put new people in.
True.
Stephen D'Souza, who directed this, by the way, wrote Die Hard.
Yeah.
Man has, and has, yeah. So has, real form in the genre. Also sacrificed part of his salary to pay for various members of the cast. It's why you've got all these like lesser known people in the supporting roles, because they couldn't afford to have anybody well known. Now, some of those people have gone on, as we said, to bigger roles. Ming-Na Wen, probably the most recognizable of them now. Others, Kylie Minogue's obviously a big star. Yeah, but other than that, mostly B-movie actors that remained B-movie actors.
Yeah.
I can't think if I have anything else. I think that's all of the additional trivia that I didn't cover at points during. As I said, they wanted Fabio as Vega. I think that was the only big bit of casting trivia that I heard that the person who didn't get. They did try to do a sequel in 2003, which would have had Dolph Lundgren in it alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme, but for whatever reason, it didn't take off. Thank
God.
fuck.
Yeah. Thank fuck.
They are, as of I think April of this year, looking at doing another one.
Well, we shall see. But I like your
I would
idea about a
imagine.
TV series. That sounds like a better approach.
I think to do all the characters justice, you'd have to. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're going to end up with a film that's a bit like Mortal Kombat, and I haven't seen that in a while, but I can imagine that in age particularly well. So this was a budget of 35 million. It made 99.4 million globally, which is not a flop by any stretch of the
No,
imagination.
definitely not.
It's a big budget for the time for this kind of film, but it made its money back. It came 13th in the list of all films released that year, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Behind Lion King, which was by far and away the biggest hit of the year, like talking triple the next thing, which was Forrest Gump, True Lies, Pulp Fiction, Speed, and it beat Ace Ventura, which we will never cover for very obvious reasons, Stargate, which is a fucking banger, Time Cop, The Crow, Clerks, and Leon.
There you go.
All films that this did better at the box office, all films that are better regarded now, with the exception of Ace Ventura for obvious reasons.
Yes. Yes.
There has never been Ace Ventura again.
No, certainly not.
I think that's everything. Did you have any additional trivia that I haven't covered there?
There was some nuggets, but I think we have covered it throughout. So no, I think that's
go on. Anything, and I'll see if I can.
Well, you mentioned about filming in Australia. That's because it got a bit crazy in Thailand that people were getting food poisoning. They were drinking water that was horrible, food that was disgusting. Someone got busted at the airport because they had steroids on them.
An unnamed actor, they don't know who it was, Dan Geef. Actually, for the purposes of legal, unsubstantiated. So actually, so that was the other bit I thought actually reminded me. The line where an attack by air is impossible was because the Thai government wouldn't let them fly. The original script had them flying, so they had to change it to a boat.
There you go. Cool. So that was Smith trivia. So the $1 million question, Smith, does it hold up?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's not great. It's not good. But fuck, it's enjoyable. And if someone said to me, "Should I watch this film?" I'd be like, "Yeah." Get a couple of beers down here, stick on Street Fighter, you have a good time. That's my recommendation for a Friday night in. How about you? Does it hold up?
No, it does not. Yeah, you're right though. If you and your mates want to get pissed and watch it, yeah, it's hilarious. But if someone says I'm looking for a really good film this weekend, you would go, watch Street Fighter. Yeah, but
I'm not saying it's a really good film. Watch Street Fighter. I'm saying that. I'm just saying, if you've got a few mates around having a couple of beers, right? You can put this on Mario or Master of the Universe. You put this on.
Oh hell, no! Fuck you! I'd put on Master of the Universe, but no,
that's boring.
But no, I tell you what, this film is not atrocious. It's not boring. It is fun, but it's stupid, and it's not the game, and it's But I will watch it probably every 10 years.
I've just remembered. I used to have the novelization of the film, the book.
Oh yeah, and
I had the novelization of it, so I read the book of Street Fighter.
Not my novelization of Super Mario Bros. I kept getting out from our school.
I think it was by Stephen E. D'Souza. I need to see if I can get a copy of that.
Oh, another bit of Stu trivia. They actually made a game off of this film.
Yes, they did.
So there's like shitty footage of like Jean-Claude Van Damme like fighting as Guile, like Mortal Kombat style, when they filmed actors doing it. Which is apparently the game's awful.
Street Fighter, the movie, the game. The only Street Fighter property where you can actually play as Captain Sawada.
Oh my god,
he's in the game. I've played that. I've played that game.
He'd be the first person I play as.
It's just like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
that was it. Just like Mortal Kombat. It's a Mortal Kombat rip.
Well, there you go. So you think it holds up? I don't. So I'm gonna have to do a tally of stuff and see what the statistics are.
I started off far more negative, and we've switched a bit. I think in recent weeks.
You've stopped being less grumpy.
I'm in a good mood.
Yeah,
I'm not, but never in a good mood. Right. Well then.
You know what time it is?
Is this the time where you tell me what I'm going to be subjected to?
Yes, for the next episode. So what if I was to say to you, Smith, say you was to go into a fast food place, right? And you ordered a Fanta, but they said they didn't have Fanta. What might they offer you as an alternative that's very similar to Fanta?
Coke?
No, think more of an orange-based drink. What, instead of Fanta?
Oh, no, I'm not watching that.
Come on, what do you think they'd offer you?
Orange soda.
No. What would they offer you instead of Fanta?
I don't know. Lilt?
Lilt don't even exist anymore, man.
Does it not? Oh yeah, no, it's like Fanta Tropical.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. What is an alternative to Fanta? Fizzy orange, orange squash, orange drink,
I'll put you out your
orange
misery.
soda.
Perhaps they might offer you a tango, and then
Oh yeah.
say if you was to go
No, they
into a
wouldn't. What
shop,
fast food restaurant do you have Tango in?
KFC.
Sorry.
KFC have Pepsi, so they have instead of like Coke, Sprite, and all that, they have Pepsi, Seven Up, and Tango.
Okay,
So,
well then let me answer your question. They'd probably offer you a Tango.
and if you was to go into a shop and you want to pay by
Mm.
debit card and you couldn't pay by the debit card, what would they say? We only accept this instead.
Cash. Oh,
So what do you
oh,
get?
Tango and cash.
That's right. We are going to be covering Tango and Cash next episode.
Oh, I've got fond memories of that film.
Me too.
Got
And I've
fond
genuinely not
memories.
watched it for about 30 years. So I really, really want to see that.
I remember it being weird. Oh, see, when you were going down Orange Drink, I thought it was going to be Good Burger, and
Oh,
I was
hell
about to,
no.
I was about to throw something at the scrolls. I'm not watching fucking Good Burger. I'm not watching anything with Keenan and Kellen. I hated that.
I think Good Burger is on our list of shit to cover, but
No, it isn't.
that's where
No,
we're gonna
it
scrape the
isn't.
barrel where there's absolutely nothing left. That's when perhaps we'll consider it.
I'd watch Mario again.
Right. But yes,
Honest to God, Mario.
but yes, no. The next episode we are going to be covering Tango and Cash from 1989. So just a last bit of housekeeping before we get out of here. Just want to plug our socials. So we are on email at itdoesn'tholduppodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to, send all your hate to send your hate to Michael Smith. You can
Hello.
send all your suggestions to us at itdoesn'tholduppodcast@gmail.com, and also let us know if we've ruined your childhood. We're on Instagram at itdoesn'tholduppodcast. We're on Twitter, or X as it's known, at Doesn't Hold Up Pod. We're on YouTube at It Doesn't Hold Up Podcast, and we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other good places you listen to podcasts. And remember, please do give us a good review on all our podcast platforms. And remember, we do cover anything, so we welcome all suggestions. So yeah, that was Street Fighter. Thank you for nominating that, Smith. I did have a riot watching this and talking
Yeah,
about
it's a
it.
good
It,
film.
it was tremendously good fun. But I'm very much looking forward to covering Tango and Cash on our next episode. So is there any last thoughts you want to say on Street Fighter before we get out of here?
Oh, the day that we recorded this podcast was the most important day of your life. For me, it legitimately is Tuesday.
Amazing. And I just want to say to all of you before we get out of here, Hadouken!